Socrates special today. No crazy edits, just unfiltered early morning thoughts. So recently, Twitch has been nothing but a disgusting excuse for a platform, and I wanted to reflect on the recent situations that have transpired from Nina Lynn / Zoe Spencer to the Mizkif situation and observe the culture around Twitch and the power dynamics that have been abused. Right now, my issue is that I think there is a gross weaponization of SA that is being used at the discretion of Twitch and its streamers. But to understand what I mean, let's just look at each situation and analyze how people are responding to the crime of SA, starting with Zoe Spencer. I don't really care about her drama with Soluminati because that didn't matter. The reason for that is because the streamer space is incredibly misogynistic. People were doing a smear campaign on Zoe. I'm not saying the criticism isn't valid, but it's clear the criticism didn't stem from a genuine place. It did not come from people genuinely feeling like Shorty was tripping. The criticism felt more like it was because she was a woman. And I even said that it didn't feel like nobody was being consistent with how they're trying to cancel her, especially when bad actors already exist.
Everyone is on Zoe Spencer's ass. They're on this hate campaign. It's very valid, okay? Extremely valid, not taken away from it. I'm on you guys' side. She's weird. I'm just trying to figure out where's his energy for Deay Frost. He was on this same time and there's a clip of him essaying someone under the guise of a joke. I'm trying to figure out why all this energy is being had for Zoe, but none for Deay. Nigga harassed a woman in the grocery store and he got off scot-free, plus a streamer university invite, but Zoe gets a massive hate campaign and clowned on by every streamer. It's just so tepid to me. Shorty is weird for show, but this energy is not consistent. People will go tooth and nail to defend their favorite streamers, but when you have the most clear-cut case of hypocrisy, I guarantee nobody gonna say nothing. I just can't help but not to take this content seriously when there's still other weirdos in the same rooms as these streamers. Niggas are still rubbing shoulders with deplorable people. Y'all can cook Zoe, exile her, get her out of here, do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, these streamers will still be friends with weird people like Deay. So it really undermines this whole hate campaign when the reason they're exiling her is the same stuff other streamers do.
First, let me give you guys some context to what I said. Basically, there was a clip that I think was taken during a stream with a cougar, quote unquote, as Deay describes it. And there was a moment where Deay was sweeping and he pretends to fall to touch her butt. Now, I'm gonna sound kind of conspiratorial, but it was too tedious to find this clip. And when you type in Deay Frost sweeping, your page is probably going to look like this. It's similar to Netflix and they know what you're talking about, but you're not gonna find the clip just off of that. But you do see a link to a stream with that same woman on YouTube, and obviously the clip is pretty weird, and it's weird no matter how you look at it. And if you're gonna defend this clip, I think there's a level of mental gymnastics you have to do in order to accomplish that. I feel like most people's reaction is to say, well, it's scripted, but then you have to ask, to what extent? Because in the grand scheme of a stream, pretending to fall in order to touch someone's butt doesn't seem like a good script, nor is it something that should be scripted. Because if it's scripted, you have to ask, why are we simulating SA? Because pretending to fall in order to touch someone's butt is SA. And also, with how things have played out, I really don't think we should count this clip out. In my opinion, I think it's SA, even if it looks playful or like a joke. But back to Zoe Spencer. People seen the clip of her SA and Saeed and they singled her out. They ran the craziest smear campaign of doom, and now all of a sudden, Zoe Spencer is blackballed. When this whole situation was blowing up, I called out how Nina Lynn was involved at the time, but I didn't know her name.
Silky has an assistant named Saeed. He's an introverted young man, a little socially awkward, whatever. Zoe kept trying to twerk on him, and this is despite him clearly like running away and not being into it, and Silky even saying like, nigga, he don't mess with it, chill. And with this girl from Could Have Been Love, you know, Juicy's show, she ends up doing it despite Saeed clearly not wanting her to twerk on him.
And mind you, after this, everybody canceled Zoe. Nina literally went up in the space. You had so many niggas doing content with her. The whole reason she was with Rage and she had the chance to call it embarrassing in the first place is because she was that connected. You're only doing streams with your Rage if you have connections. So I feel like that says a lot. And this is all after Zoe already got canceled. And the reason why is because the internet weaponized SA to cancel Zoe Spencer, and then conveniently after Nina beefs with YBG, now all of a sudden we're canceling her too. I'm seeing all these streamers petitioning to have her banned, and it's good and all, but it just feels tepid and honestly misogynistic. You have communities and streamers using SA to cancel people, but more specifically women they don't like, while allowing males who are, in my opinion, equally creepy in the space. So after Deay Frost was able to get away with literally walking up on a random woman and harassing her, and nobody cared that J Cinco was recording a random woman in the gym, and hardly containing his lust, I realized that's the culture that Twitch was fostering. I also want to mention Nina was unbanned and Zoe was too. So not only is SA a weapon that people are using to cancel other influencers, but it feels like Twitch views SA as just another PR obstacle. So they issue bans to silence people and then unban when it feels like the noise has gotten quieter. Mind you, Nina got rebanned only because Disguised Toast came out and said, nah, that was SA and I was uncomfy. And I want to correct myself because I said the clip was weird, but I also said it was playful. But with Toast coming out, he confirmed he was uncomfortable and that was SA. And that's also why I wanted to bring up the Deay clip, because even though we see one thing and we can easily say it's scripted and that it's not that serious, we really don't know what's happening inside someone's head. But now ask yourself, why does it take two different instances of SA to get someone banned? That's because it's the culture, it's the optics that Asmongold spoke on. Now let's talk about the Emiru situation, and that shit is so demonic. Like, no BS, bruh. That stuff is just evil all the way through. So first you got the TwitchCon stuff, where you go to an event that has really bad security measures, and then Emiru's favorite security guard is banned, and then you see her get attacked and the guy walks out with no repercussions, no consequences, none of that. You have an environment where high profile female streamers can get attacked and then the perpetrator is allowed to exit with no consequences, none at all. And the only reason we know this is because you have other streamers there who are catching it live, and not to mention blatantly lying in their response. And then the CEO of Twitch comes on here and just victim blames.
And others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get assaulted by a male fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, you know, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch, it extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay, it's very different. You know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me.
So what type of BS are you yapping about, old man? You can't control the actions of other people, especially deranged, psychotic, and parasocial individuals. People bypass bans all the time, new accounts, etc., etc. But these are PR stunts. These are not meant to actually address the harm, but rather silence the noise. The passive nature that Twitch has, and even the streamers in the community towards these sexual crimes, have fostered a culture where those same crimes are high in volume. And now that we finally have a microscope placed over these crimes, to me it's clear that SA has been reduced to a gotcha. And then you have the Mizkif situation that I just spoke on. Full stop evil. You got a dude accused of covering up SA. This was 3 years ago, mind you. This happened in 2022. I said it in the video, but if you get accused of covering up SA, you have to be evil. How does one even get that allegation, my nigga? And this is a specific individual. We already know about institutions doing it, but if you as a person are getting accused of covering up SA, you're not pure of soul. Facts. Now we have Emiru coming out and saying that, hey, he's basically an abuser and he also SA'd her. And then another streamer, Kyuko, she claimed that he was sleeping with her when she was drunk and he still hasn't been banned. But I'm not trying to take up too much of anyone's time. I just want this video to serve as a little bit of a break point where we really look at what's transpired and we say, no, you got niggas weaponizing SA, you got a CEO who is victim blaming and treating SA as another obstacle for PR, and then you have a literal demon in a human skin suit who niggas been saying is weird for years, once again showing us that he's weird. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for attending the videos. This is the first Socrates special. More thoughts, less edits, more yap, blase blase. Subscribe for more unsolicited opinions. Y'all niggas be blessed. I'm gonna get up out of here. Bye bye.